I love Final Fantasy VII. Big surprise, I grew up in the 90s and it was my first real Final Fantasy game. But I've replayed it twice, and I still love it. I didn't like the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Ooh, another surprise. I'm gatekeeping a childhood love.
Women must be hounding you day and night.
But I'll explain. It's because it didn't feel like a remake of Final Fantasy VII. It didn't feel like Final Fantasy VII at all.
Weird.
Because it was actually a continuation of the Final Fantasy VII anthology, disguised as a Final Fantasy VII remake. A Final Fantasy VII redirect.
There's still so much to be done.
And why? Because of Nomura. This is what he does. But let's rewind.
Revered by critics and beloved by fans.
Final Fantasy VII was directed by Kitase. Nomura did the character and battle designs. The characters looked cool. He does that really well, because that was his job and what he had experience in. From the beginning at Square, Nomura contributed to character and battle designs only. This fit his job description and skills, adding belts and zippers where no one thought possible. It wasn't until Kingdom Hearts that Nomura fully directed a game. Kingdom Hearts was much different than Final Fantasy.
I'm hanging on to her dreams for her. They're my portal. Huh? Let's just say her dreams are a gateway between worlds. Oh.
Although it had Final Fantasy characters. It also had Disney characters, but I would say it was a lot different than Disney movies. Kingdom Hearts has hardcore fans that love it.
You're stupid!
And others that think the story is insane.
Because I'm you. No, I'm me. I'm me, he says.
And that's fine. To make bold art, you will please some and alienate others. I respect that Nomura makes bold choices, even though I don't enjoy them. He has Kingdom Hearts, I have Final Fantasy, and especially Final Fantasy VII. But that all changed. A few years after Final Fantasy VII, Square expanded its universe with games and a movie. Nomura took the lead on those. The guy who designed the costumes was now in charge. He was making more bold choices. But hey, I still had the original Final Fantasy VII, and he could make his bold choices on things that I didn't have to buy. But after years of teasing, Square did it. The Final Fantasy VII Remake. The best-selling PS1 title, a landmark in player-controlled entertainment, would be remade to experience again on a modern console. Sort of. Nomura was involved.
I should warn you.
Huh?
The guy who made the costumes, the belts and zippers. This is like remaking a classic car, but putting the guy who designed the leather interior in charge of the whole thing. Sure, you like his work on the seat belts, but maybe he doesn't know a lot about how the engine works. The guy who was famous for Kingdom Hearts would be doing Kingdom Hearts things in Final Fantasy VII. Great for Kingdom Hearts fans, not for me.
Tails, you lose.
This wasn't a remake of 7. This was a continuation of Nomura's Final Fantasy VII anthology. But I don't remember seeing that in the marketing. Square didn't announce a sequel to Advent Children or Dirge of Cerberus, because the majority of people throwing money at a 7 remake don't care about those things or probably don't even know they existed. The majority that bought the remake liked one game. They wanted a remake of that game. What we got was a Nomura make.
2 words, Reeve. Neo Midgar.
With bold decisions.
Come on, let's push it past the red line!
Great for Nomura fans. But that wasn't what was sold.
Give it back. Give it back.
I was happy respecting Nomura's bold decisions from a distance, but the remake crossed the line.
Every time the whispers touch me, I lose something, a part of myself.
Like the Romulans crossing into Federation space through the demilitarized zone.
The sky is falling.
With full Nomura-esque, god-destroying, fate-defying, timeline-jumping force.
Let us defy destiny together.
We had a deal, Square. You keep him on your side, and I'll stay on mine, but you crossed that line. But I don't blame Nomura. He's true to himself, and his fans love him for it. I blame Square. They broke the deal. They sold an idea and delivered a twist. Like remastering your old home movies of passed away parents, but splicing in Two Girls, One Cup.
Viciously, without mercy, until they vomit blood.
Final Fantasy VII and Nomura. It's like Two Girls and One Cup.
Isn't that what you want?
I like or respect both things, but keep them separate.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of all of this.
Don't put Two Girls and One Cup together.
Through suffering, you will grow strong.
Don't put Nomura in my Final Fantasy VII. I like the combat, though. That was fun. What? Kitase wanted a more dramatic change? And Nomura wanted to keep the beloved aspects? Well, this is puzzling. And I must admit, the idea of the original game's nostalgia being used as a narrative device that the remake characters must confront is actually quite genius. And along with the battle system, maybe I like more of Nomura's ideas than I thought. But no, I don't like the way the characters talk like non-human, obnoxious robots. So maybe it's the writing. Yes, even the parts directly taken from the original feel off. It was you, Najima. You were the evil mastermind behind the scenes, right under my nose this whole time. You were there writing Kingdom Hearts. You were there in Final Fantasy XIII talking about Fal C and Le C madness. You made Troy Baker and Ali Hillis say those terrible words. It was you, and you almost got away with it. You almost got away with it, Najima! But I'll find you somehow. No, I probably won't. Don't send your lawyers after me. Najima!